So I know my lights are dim, and I understand that I'm usually like really up and at 'em, but I feel comfortable talking to you all. I had a lot of anxiety talking to you all last time, and I didn't like my footage at all. So I will never ever do a makeup tutorial slash story time ever again in my life. We're gonna pick up where we left off. Last week I told you all how my doctor finally came out and said that my surgery would not be occurring the following week. Before going into the next part, there are a few things that I wanted to kind of include because I left them out in the first video. So this is very important to note. So when he pushed my surgery back originally, he pushed it back to the end of August, from mid-July to the end of August. My dad ended up calling him, and then he told my dad that he could squeeze me in early to mid-August. And that's important because one of the reasons, another excuse that he gave as to why he wouldn't be lying to me or he was being sincere was that
I'm losing out on money at this point because not having you on the schedule, that's, you know, me having a loss because I could have put another patient there. So, you know, neither one of us are winning. This isn't a win situation for either one of us.
Sir, you didn't have anybody on your schedule for that day to begin with. You were never putting anyone there. Like, that makes no sense, because if you were putting someone there, you would have put me there. So you're not missing out on anything, because that wasn't even a date that was on your calendar until my dad asked you to put that date on the calendar. So that's another reason why I knew he was on some phony baloney. So the next question that I asked him was, when was he expecting for me to have the surgery? When did he want to move it to? To which he responded,
whenever I think you're ready.
And see, and that's when I knew like this conversation was over, and I ended up walking out. So he took that as me firing him, which I never said, but we're not even going to get into that. I just walked out because at that point he was being, in my opinion, a dickhead. So moving forward, I was so sad. I was crying. I was livid. I was pissed. I was hurt. I was sad. I was disappointed. I ended up calling my dad. My dad said, don't worry, we're gonna figure it out. It's like I said before, this is like something my dad is very passionate about, me having this weight loss surgery. So rest assured that my dad is going to figure it out. I've just accepted the fact that this surgery might not happen, and that I'm just gonna have to accept that, because I was okay with that before I even started this whole process. And I had been through so much trying to face my depression without food. I don't know if you've ever tried that, but it is hard if you are a foodie like me. Okay? Not being able to drink, not being able to participate in other activities. And to go through all of that, and then you're right there at the door and someone slams it in your face unexpectedly, it's just a really big letdown. So fast forward, my dad ended up calling me one day, and he told me that he had an appointment with someone in Texas, a consultation. We're mid-August now. I have no eggs in my basket at this point, and I already had to go halfway to Texas, to Shreveport, to drop my nephew off. So I was headed to Texas. I got to Shreveport, and my dad ended up calling me, telling me that my doctor had referred me to someone else. How did my dad get him to do this? I don't know. I really think that it's because man to man, they seem to always figure things out. But when it comes to me, nothing. My dad is also a finesse king, so it could be that, but I really think that he just respects my dad more for whatever reason. My dad even asked me, would I consider him being my surgeon if my dad could get him to take me back as a patient? And at that point, I'm like, why are you so adamant about this man? Like, I don't want this man working on me. He belittled me. Like, we're gonna get into that when I get into a conversation about that, if I ever feel comfortable enough speaking about it, but just not today. So anyway, so I'm halfway to Texas. The appointment that my dad got with the new doctor that I was referred to was coming up the next day or in 2 days. So I turned around from Texas and went back to Lafayette, where I live. And I got ready for the appointment with this new doctor. I go and meet and have my consultation with this new surgeon. Awesome lady. Her name is Dr. Win Chu. Dr. Chu is so amazing. But the first few minutes I walked into her door, she thought that I was going to be a difficult person. So tell me about the last experience. What went wrong with that? I've been preparing for the surgery. I ended up losing about 20 pounds, closer to 30. And I went in and I didn't know some information on a piece of paper that they wanted me to know, and that's why I was told that I was denied because I wasn't ready to have surgery. And what surgery were you gonna get? I was gonna get the duodenal switch. That's what was recommended to me. Why? I don't know, that's what he recommended, so I thought maybe he knew what's best. So you're 300 pounds, no major medical issues, no other pre-existing issues other than obesity. Why are you getting this? Why are you getting a duodenal switch? That's what he recommended, and that's what I was getting because he told me that I would be a great candidate for it. So yeah, we're not gonna do that. So we ended up having a really great conversation. She actually asked me if I was planning to have kids ever in the future, instead of coming up to me with this like baby with no eyes story. And the reason is because she said that if I did want to have kids one day, it would be better to get the sleeve surgery, because when I get the sleeve surgery, I can have revisions on it. I can get re-sleeved or go on to the duodenal switch. Yeah. So with that being said, she was because I told her, I said, well, you know, maybe one day in the future I would like to have kids. So she said, you know, once you get the duodenal switch, that's it. You can't come back and do a revision or anything like that. And she was telling me, you know, you're active, you are young, you're very healthy, you don't have any major issues, you don't have any major surgeries in the past. There's really nothing that is stopping you from being successful with the sleeve surgery. So we're talking for a little bit, and she told me that if I was ready to have the sleeve surgery, that I could sign the paper right then and there, and she would try to get me in before the end of August. And the only thing that we would be waiting on is the insurance to be approved, because this was a new doctor and a different hospital, right? So I was a little hesitant, and she sensed it. You seem a little not too pleased with my suggestion. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on in your head? You know, my dad isn't going to be too pleased with the sleeve. He has always been a big proponent of the gastric bypass, and this doctor was recommending the duodenal switch was a little more advanced than the gastric bypass. However, the sleeve, which is like duodenal gastric sleeve, is like, my dad's not going to be satisfied with that, because in his mind, I'm going to die of obesity if I don't get. Anyway, I understand that, but this is your body and you're an adult, so I really think that you need to make the best decision. And if your dad has any questions, tell him to call me. That, to me, it felt like for the first time somebody was on my side. Like, somebody really like cared about my body, me, my health. I didn't feel like just another dollar bill. I didn't feel like just another person. I felt like Stephonie with the doctor talking about a life-changing decision, and my opinions, my life, my choices mattered. You know, I thought you were gonna be a little more difficult than this. Nope. So she had put me in, scheduled me in to have my meeting in class with the dietitian, and the receptionist there, she was on it. I wouldn't say receptionist because I don't know her real job title. I'm sorry, but ma'am was on it. She got on my insurance. She stayed on my insurance behind from the very moment that I stepped in that office. So I ended up going to the dietary class that was required before surgery, before my insurance was approved. We set my date for the surgery before my insurance was approved, and we just hoped that my insurance would approve, and it did. It approved. It approved. I even started going on my liquid diet, because this doctor requires a liquid diet before the sleeve surgery for 2 weeks. So I even started that before my insurance was approved. Mind you, I never stopped eating healthy, even when I got completely denied and shut down by the last doctor. I was very consistent, because I said to myself, if this doesn't work, do we really want to go backwards? Do we really want to gain that much weight? And just a little side story, because I think this is important. I had gotten to a weight that, for the first time in my life, I truly did not like my body. I had the confidence there. I was going to rock it. I was going to do what I had to do and make it pop. But I did not like my body at all. So losing that weight, almost 30 pounds at this point, by the time I got to this appointment, it meant a lot to me. Because even I had been through a lot to get there mentally. Like, I was pushing myself through my depression, through my bad habits, to get to that point and that weight loss accomplishment. Especially when you have a dad who's on your back, doctors who are not beside you or have your side, anxiety from insurance going through twice, hoping that it goes through, anticipating a surgery date, dates being pushed back, and then school starts at the end of August. So now I'm waiting on insurance to be approved for surgery that's going to stop me from starting my last year of grad school. So it's just a lot going on at once, and I just continued to like stay positive in my eating. I didn't want to go back, which is something that I'm really going to talk about, like the struggle with, like emotional struggle that I had after surgery. But for today, let's stick here. So yeah, it got approved. My surgery, my insurance did get approved, and I ended up having my surgery on August 28th, 2019 with the best bariatric surgeon in all the land of Lafayette and beyond. She's amazing. If you are looking to have a bariatric surgery, I really do recommend Dr. Winchu. That is Uyenchu. She is amazing. She's caring, but she's gonna be real, and she's gonna be honest, and she's gonna be on it, and she's gonna expect you to work out. So you better get it together. But she's amazing, and I still love having appointments with her. She never makes me feel guilty, but she's always honest. She's always going to be real with me. So yeah, so that's how I got to the surgery date. Tune in next week, and we will talk about the actual surgery and my treacherous recovery process. I've literally been sitting outside of Old Navy for like 15 minutes. I was trying to be active and, like, you know, just do something, but maybe this was just a little too premature. Maybe I just wasn't ready. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna try to stay in here for like 10 minutes. I really could have did my hair. This is, you know what the fuck?